Hey everyone, and welcome to Private Podcast, where we plug in and explore the intersection of technology, privacy, human rights, and democracy. I'm your host, Derek E. Silva. Today we're speaking with Alexander Klus. Alexander is the founder of Creaton, a decentralized, censorship-resistant, subscription-based content sharing platform, bringing control of data back to the creators and giving creators the choice to tokenize their revenue and kickstart their careers. Alexander, thanks so much for taking the time to be here today.
Thanks for having me.
I know it's evening where you are, so we'll try to get you
Yep.
in and out of here in a reasonable amount of time, and hopefully give everybody
Perfect.
something to chew on in the meantime. So let's
Yeah.
talk about Creaton. What is it? And of course, on everybody's mind is going to be, when will it officially launch?
Yes. Yeah. So very shortly, we're a decentralized Patreon. So we help creators monetize their audience through subscriptions. And yeah, we're planning to add a lot of other cool features like creator tokens later on. But yeah, that's the beginning feature of of our platform.
Terrific. And I know you guys have been working on this for a little while. You've talked a little bit about having things on mainnet. I think you ran into some unexpected technical hurdles there. So when are you really going to start like onboarding a significant amount of creators and fans to and letting them do what they do in a decentralized Patreon?
Yeah. So we're planning to launch the platform this month together with the token, and then we'll also deploy the DAO. Uh, yeah, which I can talk later on.
Sure.
So yeah, we're like literally like finishing everything up right now. Yeah, we're adding a new protocol called the Lib Protocol, which basically enables yeah like decrypting of content if you own a certain NFT
Hmm.
or a certain on-chain condition. So in our case, if you're subscribing to someone, uh, yeah, on Creaton, so you're streaming tokens actually instead of like paying once a month. You stream the tokens with Superfluid. So as soon as you do that, the Lib protocol basically gives you decryption access to all of the content that the creator has. Um, and yeah, this is the very new technology which really makes everything very user friendly, because at first we used NewCipher, which does do decentralized encryption and decryption, but it's all manually. So at
Hmm.
first, creators had to come online to grant decryption access to the fans, but now everything goes manually thanks to the Lib protocol. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, thanks to this, yeah, we really want to push this to the mainstream, and we think we can beat basically the Web2 platforms.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I do recall there being this issue of, which I know you hoped was going to be temporary with a creator having to manually approve a new fan subscribing and therefore decrypting that information, like you said. But it sounds like you've already solved that problem even before the real mainnet launch. So that's
Yeah,
terrific. Perfect. Yeah,
yeah,
that obviously makes things a lot more like a Patreon as opposed to this manual process. Speaking of which,
yeah.
besides the using Web 3.0 technologies, Lib Protocol, I think you're launching on Polygon, not Ethereum or another layer one. You're launching on a layer two. What really sets Creaton apart from other creator based platforms and makes it so, I guess, maybe so much better. And you can compare it to Web 2, Patreon obviously being the obvious example, or other similar but not quite the same platforms that have already launched on using Web 3 tech.
Yeah. Yeah, so in comparison to Web2, yeah, like all the creators completely own their own data. All of their income is on chain. We can't, yeah, censor any creator like on our platform, like on the back end at least. So our goal is that, yeah, there's no lock-in on the platform. So if a creator decides that they don't like us anymore for some reason, uh, yeah, like they could almost very easily fork Creaton and start an yeah like an alternative, or another project can make something better. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, that's the biggest benefit.
Okay. And what about so that's certainly a big difference with Web 2 platforms. What about other Web 3 platforms? Like, there are social token platforms, there are things like Brave where if you visit a website a certain amount of times, they're going to get some BAT tokens. Like, what do you feel really sets Creaton apart from other decentralized platforms?
Yeah. Well, like to begin with, we're the only platform that will use Superfluid.
Mm,
So there's no other platform where you can subscribe to a creator for uh, 10 USDC a month and then get access to their content.
right.
Um, so yeah, that's where we stand out. And there are like some platforms that have token gated access. So yeah, like as soon as you hold a token, you can see the content. But those platforms are also basically more centralized. We're like really pushing it with the decentralization aspect.
Okay.
Um, and we also just believe that creators should have a very stable income. And yeah, just a subscription based model is the best one, we believe, for now at least.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, that adds a lot of predictability. You know whether somebody is re-upping, renewing their
Yeah.
subscription, depositing more funds into Superfluid via Polygon. And I guess for the uninitiated, Sablier, Superfluid, these are money streaming platforms where you can deposit a certain amount of tokens, USDC, OXT, what have you, and set start date, end date, more or less, and depending on the setup, and then set how long it should take to stream that amount of money. So like you said, you could take 5 USDC or 10 USDC. I guess Creaton will probably take care of this in the platform, deposit the funds, and stream that out over the month so that in the creator's account, literally money is literally ticking up, the
Yep.
value, the balance
Per
is ticking
second.
up per second, as opposed to getting this big dump at the beginning of the month. Or um, um, I know Patreon's had this big problem of trying to batch everything all at once so that their fees are lower and therefore the creators fees are lower. You're
Hmm.
completely cutting out the credit card processors and all that, and therefore
Yeah.
really just giving as much as possible to the creators. So yeah, those platforms are really really great. It's something I'd like to actually set up for um, income, like paying people. So like, I'm going to contract you for a month, drop in 2000 USDC into the fund, and just whenever you need it and you want to pull it out, you can pull it out whenever you want. So there's lots of potential use cases there. What led you to create Kraton? Are you a burned Patreon creator or something like that? Like, why start?
Yeah, yeah. So I started looking into yeah, blockchain development in about 2018, 2019. And back then Patreon basically kicked some creators off their platform that didn't really even break their terms of service or anything
Hmm.
like that. And yeah, then also that was kind of the beginning of yeah, like NFTs, like CryptoKitties was there, and I was like, cool, maybe I can make a platform where basically people pay in crypto and then they get access to yeah, encrypted NFTs. Um, so yeah, that's basically how that started. It's just that all the cool new protocols weren't there yet. Like Superfluid wasn't
Hmm.
there yet, so you couldn't basically subscribe to someone on the blockchain. And basically, about almost a year ago now, yes, Superfluid yeah, popped up, and that's when I started looking into yeah, making the platform again. Um, yeah, now we're here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure there are lots of ideas that people had early on. I had all sorts of ideas about cutting lawyers out of real estate transactions and that sort of thing. Like, I'll deposit money here. The smart contract will see that, I guess, through an oracle at this point, and I don't know, some automated robot or something will hand me my keys because the down payment's done, or the house is paid for via me and the bank, and so now somebody just needs to hand me the keys, as opposed to literally sitting around all afternoon at a lawyer's office waiting for them to fax things and make phone calls, etc. But
Yeah,
it's taken 4 years to really get here to a place where um, we can actually start to replace or at least augment a lot of these traditional technologies where it's been much easier for a longer period of time. So yeah, it's certainly a
Yeah.
we just had to wait. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, were you a subscriber to any of those Patreon creators who were kicked off the platform, who were deplatformed at the time?
Uh, well, I did, yeah, like sometimes watch some videos of them. Um, or yeah, like the particular one was Sorgen von Akkad, I think, is his name.
Mm,
Uh, but yeah, like it's not like I'm a big fan or I'm still watching their videos. But yeah, they did seem like reasonable people that didn't really deserve it. But yeah, like I actually still am subscribed to some people on Patreon, and also
yeah.
just keep up to date to what Patreon is doing itself.
Yeah.
um, so yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I do. I subscribe to. I think I only have one active Patreon subscription at this point, and it's a daily tech news show called Daily Tech News Show. So it's not a very innovative name, but they are exactly the type of people who I think who would at least consider using something different. If they felt it was worth their while, or if they felt like it would solve a problem, and if the fees are better, or if they have fewer problems with videos getting pulled down or whatever, which is usually a YouTube problem. But regardless, I hope they'll take advantage of it, and I'd be happy to slide them, slide them Kraton's name to make sure they're aware of it. Um,
oh, yeah, awesome.
so so overall, what do you think the biggest draw is for creators to join Creaton?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So like, it's also you need to sell them on the whole crypto benefits first.
Yeah,
Because like yeah, like if they're not like sold on NFTs or just crypto tokens in general or the blockchain technology, it's like hard to convince them to be like, hey, you need to make this wallet and then and all that stuff. So yeah, like you would first need to do that. But luckily now, like everyone is interested in NFTs. So that's what also our like target audience will be, like people already in crypto. Uh,
yeah,
but we're still like making everything as user friendly as possible. So we're adding Magic Link where people can basically just use their email to create a wallet, and then they don't even need to think about like installing MetaMask and dealing with seed phrases and all of that.
yeah,
And then we're also looking to add like a fiat on ramp, so people can just buy the USDC with their credit card. Um, so yeah, we're still looking to onboard people to both our platform and also crypto itself. But yeah, the easiest thing would be to just focus on NFT enthusiasts, and they would probably want to join us if they're also using Patreon. So yeah.
yeah. No, it's terrific. I've used Magic Link before. Slack uses Magic Link, and sort of
Mm,
bunch of other services. I didn't realize that they had integrated blockchain from or,
yeah, they did.
helping you build decentralized apps on Ethereum and more than 10 other blockchains, whatever that list
Yeah.
is right now. So that's terrific. Yeah, today I learned. Um, and actually, in terms of things hitting mainstream, somebody on my team retweeted Reese Witherspoon has bought her first Ether
Oh yeah,
at some
I
point
saw it.
yesterday. So, and she tweeted about it. So that's a couple 100,000 more people who have seen that a little bit of information and potentially are scrambling to make Coinbase accounts and
Yeah, yeah.
learn about blockchain in general. So yeah, the mainstream adoption is definitely, this is
Yeah,
almost like the internet where a bunch of people thought it was going to be a fad, it's going to go away. It's not going away, I think, and certainly you believe that too.
yeah,
This is, for better or worse, I think the new norm. And so,
yeah,
taking
definitely.
that time to make things as user friendly now, I think is will probably pay off dividends for you later, and certainly for the
Yeah,
people who want to use it. Ideally, as a fan, because that's where the creators obviously have to come to the platform and attract people, but then you need to actually get the users to deposit the money and actually start streaming it. So that's certainly a learning curve there too. Um, cool. So on the flip side, what challenges do you think creators are going to face in today's market, or what challenges do they face?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to just mention that, yeah, like censorship, of course. And there's a lot of yeah, like YouTubers that I'm just like hearing them talk in the video about like, oh, I probably can't talk about this because then I'll get demonetized, or like the algorithm won't like it, or yeah, or something like that. So yeah, the biggest problem would be, yeah, like monetization and yeah, like being yeah, fully in control of their artwork and also their, yeah, their output, because like as a creator you don't want to like think about like the issues that a platform has, or like the things you can and cannot say. And yeah, like it's really important that the creator can really not have any yeah, blocks in what they can and can't do. So yeah, hopefully Web3 can help push those blocks away.
Yeah, I think it's done a tremendous job, even with art, digital art. Obviously, that's been huge,
Mhm.
pretty much all this year, but especially since the spring, and you know the need there is certainly, I think, fairly great. Um, So, looking at your launch, you know, you have your original feature set. The subscriptions are going to be enabled, automatic allowance into the content. You know, you solve that problem. What can we expect from Creaton for the remainder of 2021 and into 2022? What sorts of other features do you want to build post launch?
Yeah. Yeah, so like we just like to add some more monetization features. Yeah, where basically fans can like request like any type of
Hmm.
content, and yeah, buy it from them, like either encrypted or just public. Um, so that's one feature, and then we also want to basically make our project a DAO. Um, so yeah, that's a decentralized autonomous organization. So this way, basically, the whole project can be developed. Um, yeah, basically by an organization where anyone can join in and contribute. Um, and yeah, it's basically all funded by people voting on proposals. Um, so yeah, this way, not only the platform and the protocols behind it are decentralized, but also the development behind our own project, because yeah, it's very important that the project development is also very resilient. And basically, if we would either get shut down by someone, or yeah, or we decide to leave, like basically the project could just keep
Yeah.
running. Um, yeah, that's very important.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Um, Gitcoin's going through this process right now. Rally is also going through this process right now.
Yeah,
It's not simple. You know, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that I think a lot of people don't
yeah, it's
see.
very hard.
And I guess for anybody who really wants to dive in, Coin Bureau, as much as they put out a lot of videos about trading tokens, they actually have some really good explainers as well. And just earlier this week, this is like the first week of September, they put out a video about DAOs and why the guy's bullish on DAOs, but it's actually a really good explainer about DAOs and quadratic funding, quadratic voting, etc. So if anybody's looking to learn a little bit more about that, that's actually a pretty good resource, and it's less than 20 minutes long, so you can just put it on in the background and tune in while you're vacuuming or washing dishes or whatever you're up to. Um, cool. So
Nice.
some of the features there you actually mentioned are they remind me of things you can do on OnlyFans, right? Like request a certain amount of thing, or
Yeah.
certainly cam sites, you know, which have been around forever. What are your thoughts about the recent news about OnlyFans announcing first their plan to ban sexually explicit content, not nudity, but a little bit beyond that. I'm not going to make any hand motions here, and and then of course, just a few days later, after much teeth gnashing and furor sent their way, announcing they were not, or they were delaying that ban on sexually explicit content. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, this really shows the importance of yeah, like not having platform lock-ins for creators because it just gives so much more anxiety. Yeah, like if you're a creator and like OnlyFans, yeah, I mean they did do their best, but yeah, like even if they have very good intentions, the team of yeah like of OnlyFans or other like any other Web2 platform, yeah, that's like great, but yeah, they can still be like shut down by yeah, like Mastercard if they don't like it,
Hmm.
or anything like that. And yeah, like our platform really doesn't have that problem. Um, so yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, sir, I don't talk about this too much because it doesn't really come up very often. But yeah, I am one of these people who believes sex work is work. Like these are things you're allowed to do legally, depending on the country you're in. It's something you're allowed to sell again in most countries, and unless it's absolutely illegal everywhere. Personally, I don't see the problem with somebody willingly,
Yeah,
with of their own volition, engaging in this type of work. As long as it's not an exploitative situation, that's a whole other thing. And so I was actually really surprised because my opinion, my view of OnlyFans pretty much since it started has been that's exactly what it's for. I know they've been trying to get like chefs and fitness
oh yeah,
instructors
yeah, they
over from
tried to.
Instagram or whatever over to their platform. Okay,
Yeah,
fine, but like you're literally trying to deal with this whole not stigma, but maybe a stigma and point of view of what OnlyFans is, which is it's sexually explicit content and nudity, for the most part, regardless of what your homepage shows. Um, so I thought it was really, I was rather surprised. I'm really confident that it was a payment processor driven issue. So I don't know what they're dealing with
yeah,
that, or
yeah, it
or
was.
it was or it was a we're trying to raise money and nobody wants to touch us with a 10-foot pole issue. But at the same time, well, then maybe you make do with what you have, right? Like it's I at the same time, if they are assuming they are profitable, the need to raise money should be relatively small, unless they want to spend a lot of that money on a bunch of new marketing
Yeah,
or infrastructure, which maybe they do, but maybe you just have to do it more slowly instead. But like you said, it's that's
yeah. I
that's
think
one of
it
the
was
needs.
mostly
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was I think mostly the Mastercard payment processing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the issue, and they probably found like some other payment processor didn't have that issue.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, with them.
We may never know the real truth, but either way, I was rather surprised.
Yeah,
And then I'm like, well, and then they back off. So I'm like, well, then
yeah,
why did you have to announce this in the first place? Like, you gave everybody about a month or like 5 weeks to figure out what they were going to do, and now you're backtracking. And for me, like that's a trust loss issue, which as much as we talk about
yeah,
trustless platforms and the ability to move things around, like you said. In the meantime, we do have to put some trust that the place where you invest a bunch of time into building up that fan base is going to support you. And instead, um, a lot of these people, to use the term we often use in crypto got rug pulled, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden had that rug put back, but we don't know for how long. So, um, what about creator NFT marketplaces? Do you feel like that's actually going to revolutionize this creator economy overall, or is it mostly augmenting what people are doing right now, or do you foresee some sort of significant change in what maybe that path to success, or how creators treat or spend their time or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. Like with the recent NFT hype, yeah, it did like unlock a lot of yeah, like value for artists because at first you wouldn't really pay for a painting, or at least young people like me wouldn't probably do that.
It's taken me a long time
um,
to get to a point where I would like, I'll spend $500 on a painting, sure, or more. Like, but like, I really gotta like it. I gotta like the artist, and then of course you have to think of like that's gonna be on my wall for like the next 20 years or 30 years, and and just keeping that in mind. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and like like especially because we're all moving to a more and more digital world. Yeah, it's very important that there's basically property uh, in the digital sphere, and yeah, with the NFT marketplaces, that's all enabled now. Um, and yeah, and this is like just the beginning, because I mean, there's already like so much hype around just like CryptoPunks and stuff, and I think most people wouldn't um be like interested in that type of stuff,
Hmm.
but just because like the technology behind it is also cool. I think like this is just the beginning, and there's like so much more new stuff that will pop up, like even like the loot stuff. I don't know if you're
I
keeping
heard
track
about
of
it.
that. Yeah, I'm like, I mean, like I even like don't really know how it works, or like what the benefit of it is. So yeah, it's just all like moving so fast that I can't even really predict where things are going, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I did hear about the loot text thing, and I was like, I will read about this later if I have time. This is I have not gotten into the whole profile picture craze. I don't own a CryptoPunk. I will probably never own a whole CryptoPunk at this point, with the floor being like 180 ether or whatever it is at the moment, unless ether drops to a
Oh, yeah,
dollar,
that's
and in
insane.
which case I will buy 180 ether and then bid on it in ether. um, but that I don't think that's going to happen again any ever probably. So yeah, I what I really like is these personally these experiential things. Like Gary Vaynerchuk did this set of NFTs earlier this
Oh
year, and
yeah,
it's like, well, if you
defense.
own it, you redeem it to like go to a New York Knicks game with Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's got
Mm.
courtside tickets. I'm like, that to me that's cool. Not with Gary Vaynerchuk, but like that's sort of, he's cool, but whatever. Um,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, and like
somebody else.
personally, yeah, like personally, I'm more into social tokens.
Mm,
So for yeah, like for example, I'm in FWB, the Friends with Benefits Discord.
yeah.
And yeah, we're basically just really friends, and yeah, we talk about trading. We talk about NFTs. But there's actually a lot of new progress behind it. We're basically having like small projects inside of the Discord. Uh, yeah, some of them are like focused on city DAOs. So basically, um, people organize events in like the cities that they live, and yeah, that's basically all like run by a DAO. So anyone in the FWB Discord can join those and help contribute. And there's also like a metaverse project. So we're like buying up land, and then we're gonna like decorate it, and maybe also hold events inside of inside of the
Nice.
metaverse. So yeah, that's my biggest fun thing that I'm doing. I'm like not even buying any NFTs really. Also, I'm mostly buying social tokens at the moment.
What about whale that just got listed on Huobi? Like, was that a token you had toyed around with before, that you own? You don't have to reveal it if you don't want to, but I was rather surprised to hear that news, that the whale social token had been listed on Huobi recently, or is about to be.
Like I didn't know about it, but that's also something new for me. And yeah, it's also pretty crazy because FW also had interest of a few VCs,
Mhm.
and I think A16Z is going to like buy some tokens and also contribute to the project. So yeah, that's also very very cool and crazy.
Very interesting. Okay. No, I wasn't aware of that. I'm not. I know some people. I know some other people who are probably in that Discord server with you, but it's not. It's not the one I've taken to any time to join yet. I've joined Seed Club recently because I'm really interested in that.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah,
And
that's a
then,
good one.
and then I got an invite to one
Shout out to Jess.
which right now is all about like life extension, like a DAO to help fund life extension. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, Vita DAO.
yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, this is not. I actually have like completely opposite opinions to what you're doing here. So I'm not I don't want to help fund this DAO. If I hit 100, I'm literally just gonna like walk off a bridge because I think that's long enough. Um,
It's over.
yeah, like by the time I'm 90, I'm signing a DNR. Like that's long enough. And if I by somehow I naturally reach 100 years old, um, my birthday's around Christmas, so I won't do it right then. But like January, February, be like, okay, that's enough. I've had enough. It's been 100 years. Like, just, bye bye, Derek. Um, yeah. So the last thing I want to see is people personally living to 150 or 200 years old or something like that. I think that's very unnecessary. Um, I think we're going to end up very much in an altered carbon situation where you have sleeves and people just want to live forever, and you have this, huge
Yeah,
discrepancy between the
it's gonna
super
be
rich and the
tricky.
super poor, and I don't want to contribute to that, or be on either opposite
Yeah.
pole of that situation. So that's okay. Um, CryptoPunks just signed a deal with a very large, I think a United Talent Agency, something like that. Basically it's for that agency to represent CryptoPunks in Hollywood, right? Like movie deals, comic books, music, whatever. What are your thoughts on digital artists, movies, music, and sports, like carving out a new space for NFTs? And or if you don't have an opinion on that, vice versa, NFTs actually coming very mainstream potentially in that case. Like we might have a CryptoPunks movie in 2023 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like it's already happening. And
Top
yeah, like a
Shot's
good
so
example is
rare.
yeah, yeah. So there's also I don't know the name of it, but yeah, yeah, like it was basically a crowdfund of a Ethereum documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they raised like 100 Ethereum or something.
Was that Real Vision that
Um,
did that?
I think it was another one.
Okay, that's fine. I thought it might have been Real
Yeah,
Vision. I know they've been
yeah,
working on a documentary as well.
yeah, yeah. I think it was another one. Yeah, but they basically raised a lot of money to start a documentary, and I think it'll be well, they'll be in the credits for sure, and I think they're also gonna like fractionalize the ownership of it.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, yeah, they should probably do that if yeah if they haven't yet. But yeah, yeah, like I think you'll you'll be seeing that like more and more where just yeah even movies can be like crowdfunded um, yeah by the people and then also yeah have like ownership of it yeah in the form of like a token and I mean there's like probably a lot of like stuff with the SEC and legal stuff but yeah like we'll figure that out but I think this is definitely where we're heading where yeah like we're not like run by those yeah like I don't know how you call them Hollywood investing
Big production houses.
projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, production houses. But yeah, people can actually really own the movies and yeah, fund their favorite ones. And that yeah, that's like a really cool future for me.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that. I actually contributed to. I haven't even watched the movie yet, which is really dumb. I contributed to the funding of Zach Braff's film. I wish I was here. I don't know, like 10 years
Mm.
ago through Kickstarter, and what did I get? I got a downloadable copy of the soundtrack and maybe something else, behind the scenes footage, like while they were filming in New Jersey or whatever. And no, California, regardless. So like that was a cool experience, but I didn't get any ownership the of the film or anything like
Yeah,
that. I think I'd much rather, instead of like behind the scenes footage is cool, and like a full copy of the MP3 soundtrack, it was nice too. I didn't have to acquire it illegally because I was young and poor at the time. But I really want to see the movie made, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll throw in $20, $50, whatever it was. having a 0.001% of the distribution profits or what have you might have been way more lucrative for me. So that's not something I had actually considered until now, which is, I guess, a little bit surprising to myself. But yeah, that could be a lot of fun. Um, I think just before this episode goes out, we'll have spoken with a guy named Jason Reef from Noised, who is actually about to launch a platform where you can actually buy and sell the full royalties for unreleased music from some really
Oh, no.
talented artists. So that's an example of where you can actually take that, and so like ownership of that NFT is the actual rights to all the royalties, mechanical, songwriter, etc. And if you put that song out on Apple and Spotify and YouTube Music and it does really really well, you get paid, right? And so that's a risk obviously you're taking there, just like a production house and being the producers behind a movie. Um, but potentially could really pay off dividends for you if things go well. So you just mentioned A16Z potentially investing in or buying up a bunch of FWB tokens and contributing to that community. Visa, I think, just bought a CryptoPunk recently. Um,
Oh yeah.
I saw a headline about Trader Joe's, but it turned out it was a DeFi project called Trader Joe's. So that got me for a second there. But regardless, what do you think about NFTs and companies purchasing NFTs? Do you think we're just at the beginning here, or is that something that you think is actually going to maybe not go mainstream, but you think is going to get more adoption there amongst large companies at least, and maybe some VC firms?
Um, yeah, I mean, definitely like at the moment because yeah, like everything is hot, but things might like crash and then companies will be like scared to buy it. But yeah, like definitely in a
That
few
never
years
happens. What are
again,
you talking
if
about?
yeah, like in a few years, about yeah, like the 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 first NFT winter is over. Yeah, like hopefully I didn't jinx anything, but uh, yeah, so yeah, like I definitely think that will keep happening. And yeah, like I think probably A16Z is the first VC firm that like invested in a social token.
Hmm.
So yeah, like this definitely won't be the last. And I mean, the hope is also that that like the people and yeah can actually like start their own VC firm, um, and it's not like just a bunch of like old rich people like investing in everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm really hoping that yeah, like the democratized venture funding will keep yeah keep opening and becoming yeah better and better.
All right, so a final question here. So make sure we get you out of here and onto your evening. How does Creaton's marketplace or the platform protect a user's privacy?
Yeah, so basically all of the content yeah is completely owned by the users themselves in the form of an NFT. And yeah, like we can't really look into any of the encrypted data. Like yeah, like unless I decide to subscribe to a creator and they give me access. But yeah, like we can't yeah like yeah like snoop on people's private data or messages or content or anything like that. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, like that's yeah, that's how our platform works.
Cool. And what about for fans who are subscribing? Like, are you collecting first name, last name, email, etc.? Or if you are, is that optional or is that all required information?
No, like the goal is that people can be like completely yeah like anonymous. So the only thing that will be public is the Ethereum address where people could yeah of course track everything because it's all public. Uh, yeah, but yeah, but like we don't force anyone to put in their real name or upload their ID or anything like that.
Cool. Terrific. All right, Alexander, thanks so much for the time here today. Hopefully people understand a little bit more about Creaton and know about Web3 versions of similar, but hopefully better platforms now can help protect our privacy and offer some censorship resistant. And and people are, will hopefully look forward to the launch. If they want to learn a little bit more about Creaton, where should they go?
Yeah, you can go to creaton.io. Yeah, you can check out their Twitter and also join our Discord through there. Yeah, so those will be the best platforms to check out.
Perfect. All right. Thanks everybody for listening, and until next time, stay free.